friends, to my kitchen. Today I'm doing something out of ordinary for me. I've never made this, but I've been wanting to try it, and so I thought I'll make a video since I had everything already out. I am making cauliflower risotto. I love risotto, but can't have that rice. Too much for my blood sugar. So I'm gonna substitute the rice, the arborio rice, for cauliflower, and we'll see how it comes out. So I'm gonna start with putting 2 tablespoons of butter in my pan, and then I'm gonna put 1 tablespoon of garlic olive oil. But if you don't have garlic olive oil, any olive oil will do. That's gonna melt. Let me show you what I have here. I have 4 cups of cauliflower, which was two cauliflowers. Sometimes they're real big, 1 would be enough, but I went with 2. I have some garlic, I have Parmesan cheese, some lemon zest and lemon juice, some parsley, Bala mushrooms or white mushrooms, any mushrooms will do. And in here I have frozen peas and blanched asparagus, and then some fresh thyme. So once that is melted, oh, and in here underneath the mushrooms, I have some shallots. I was like, where's my shallots? Shallots. But if you don't have shallots, you can use onion chopped. But that's what I have. So I'm gonna put this in my pot, and we're gonna saute these two things together. I love risottos. I don't care what kind of risotto it is. I just love it. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of salt to help that mushroom and that shallot to start sweating a little bit. So anyway, so I love risottos, but I can't have all that rice. My blood sugar goes straight up. When we were kids, we didn't worry about blood sugar. We didn't worry about sugar. We didn't have sugar. I remember a lot of times my mom would have to go take a nap, especially on Sundays. I was just talking this to my sister, Hilda. When my mom would go and take a nap on Sunday, and we were all home, of course, and we were bored, we would let my mom to go take a nap, and then we would go check the chickens to see if they had any eggs, and we would bake a cake. My mom would wake up and she would be all upset because we baked a cake, we used all the eggs, we used the sugar. Those days there was not that abundance of everything. Today we got so much we can't have it. Go figure. What a life. But I remember a lot of those times we would sneak away with those kind of things was when my mom was sleeping. By then, it was too late. It was already, the cake was already done, or whatever it was, the cookies, whatever it was that we did. And my mom always had biscuits and hrushkas and all that stuff. But we didn't want that. We wanted a nice piece of cake or something. And she made it. She would make a lot of that stuff, but it was sometimes on Sundays, and sometimes on Sundays she wouldn't have time to make all this, because this is the difference that is today. Every Sunday we went to church. I mean, I don't care if it was rain or shine, we went to church. I don't remember if we're sick, if we ever went to church. I always remember going to church every Sunday. But before we went to church, we had to wash clothes, whatever the clothes was to. We took a shower or a bath the night before. We had to wash clothes by hand, not washing machines. My mom would get lunch going. We always had a big lunch. Dinner was always light, but we had a big lunch. So she would get dinner going, lunch going, whatever it was. She got that started, and then we would dress up at church. Church was at 10. Go to church, then come back from church, maybe finish whatever it was that she needed to finish for lunch. And then by 1 o'clock, we were all sitting down and eating lunch together. I tried to do that here when my kids were small. It wasn't possible. We always end up having the dinner. And now they're all everywhere, so even less. I'm going to add my garlic also. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of garlic. Yeah, in those days we ate everything. Everything. There was a lot of things we didn't care for, but we had no choice. We ate. I remember when it was the time to kill the pigs. I hated that time. I liked it the time because there was, you know, my cousins sometimes came, my aunts, they all came and helped us. But it was a time that we eat stuff we didn't like, you know. At that time, I didn't like pig's feet. We didn't like the ears, the pig's ears, and liver, and all that other stuff. Anyway, I'm going to put a little bit more olive oil, because it's a little dry. How about another tablespoon? Okay, and I'm gonna add my cauliflower. And what I did is I washed the cauliflower and I put it in the food processor to grind it like that. And it grinded all into little pieces, so it looks like rice. So now I'm gonna kind of do the same thing as the risotto, kind of let this absorb all that olive oil and all those flavors and try to kind of toast a little bit. And then I'm gonna add my wine. Oh, I can have some thyme too. I'd say about a tablespoon of thyme. Yeah, I have some of my customers, they can't have rice, so I have to find ways to substitute the rice. I'm going to put the lemon zest so it starts flavoring. You want the flavors right away because cauliflower is very bland. It doesn't have no flavor. So by putting these things early on, it flavors before it cooks. Because once it's cooked, okay. And I'm gonna put about maybe 3/4 of a cup of, like I said, it's all eyeball of that's Pinot Grigio, white wine. And you want white wine. You don't want a red wine for this. You want kind of a fruity white wine. So, and in here I have 4 cups of chicken stock. You can use beef stock, you can use water, but I always like to use chicken stock because it has a lot of flavor. Okay, and let that absorb. And I'm going to start adding my liquid. And this probably won't take as long as the risotto because it's cauliflower. So it won't take as long to cook. That's the other good thing. As soon as it absorbs all that liquid, just keep adding more. Okay, so we would go to church, come back and finish lunch, whatever was needed to do, or if we didn't have time to wash clothes before, we would go wash clothes. We washed clothes almost every day. It was about every day. We were 8 people, but we didn't change clothes like we do over here. Over here, we changed clothes 4 or 5 times a day. At least my kids did. It's like, why can't you wear the same clothes? And when you got home, the clothes you wore to church, you took them out and put them away. You didn't stay in those clothes. There was only clothes for church. So we would eat dinner, lunch, maybe about 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock, most likely 1 o'clock. And when we ate dinner, it's very different, you know, even us as kids at home. We would sit at the table sometimes for 2 hours. We would sit there and just talk and visit, fight. Sometimes we would start fighting when we were eating. So, then we would wash all the dishes and clean everything. By then would be 3 o'clock. My mom sometimes would go take a nap. My dad would go check the cows and do whatever it is that he needed to get done. It was a life. It was like a whole different world. I'm going to add my peas and my, these are blanched asparagus. I just cut them up and then I put them in a pot of boiling water for a minute. Then took them out and put it in a cold water to stop the cooking process. I'm gonna add the cheese. I'm gonna save for the topping. It's about maybe half a cup of cheese. This is Parmesan cheese, and this is what's gonna make it creamy. Oh, I need to add something else here. I need some cream. I forgot to take the cream. This is about half a cup of heavy cream. You need that heavy cream to kind of make it creamy because it doesn't have no starch, so it needs to look creamy. So we're gonna let this cook in here. And I'm gonna put the rest of the, that's okay, that's enough. So I probably use about, there was only half a cup in there left. So I'm gonna let this cook for a little bit. I'm gonna try for salt. See if it needs any salt. Yes. So I had put half a tablespoon. So I'm gonna put 1 teaspoon because it, cauliflower is very blah. It needs flavor, and I'm gonna put some pepper too. Some black pepper. And squeeze of a lemon juice. It's gonna brighten up that cauliflower. This might be my next risotto because it looks so good. Okay, and I'm gonna add a little bit of parsley. So I'm gonna just let this cook here until it absorbs most of that liquid, and then I'll come back. My risotto is done. I put a tablespoon of butter, and now And then as it sits here, that liquid will thicken with that liquid. Look at this. Oh, it smells so good. You know, you can add pieces of bacon in here. Fry some bacon, add some bacon to it. Know what? I'm not gonna know the difference. This is so good. This is really good. It's very hot. Be careful. Wow. You know, there's so many ways of doing stuff. There's no need for us to be feeling like we're depriving anything. You just gotta research it and find ways to, you know, eat healthier. I love to eat healthier. I wanna be healthier. But, you know, sometimes a lot of our stuff that are not healthy already it's in our genes. We can't help it. You know, I always been conscious of the things that I put in my body and eating healthy, and I don't drink a lot of water, which I need to, but things like that, I love to make it because it's good for us, and you know, and it's one way of us getting our vegetables in. This is so good. So you know what? Even though we're just started a new year, let's try to be more conscious of decisions that we do, and let's try different things that are healthier for us. So this is not something I was brought up, but I'm just as satisfied and happy as the stuff my mom made. So anyway, let's get cooking. Have a good day.